Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you Zenphi's AI Builder capability and how it enables you to automate your processes where documents are involved, particularly if you need to extract information from documents, whether it's a PDF, image, etc. One of the common use cases is when you receive documents like invoices, SAP work orders, or government documents through email or to a job folder, and you need to extract information from those documents, get approval, store them in different systems, or route them to different departments in your company. Luckily, with Zenphi, you can easily do that with just a few drag and drops. Now, for our scenario, I'm going to automate a process where invoices like this will be emailed to an inbox, will be monitoring the inbox, and then we'll be extracting a few information from the invoice, like invoice number, invoice date, and also the total amount. And we're going to save it in the Google Sheet. Um, so to get it started, very first thing we need to do, we need to go to the AI Builder capability of Zenphi to create an AI model for that type of invoice. Now you can create different type of model. This one I'm gonna call it just internet invoice model, internet provider invoice model. Okay, now next step is we need to give it a few samples of that document. I've got a few here. I'm gonna upload them. So I upload this one. Once it's uploaded, the process document button appears. Just click on that. Now Zenphi sends a document to our artificial intelligence engine to try to extract the fields from the document. It's important to notice it does not use OCR only. It uses machine learning to be able to relate the field. If you're interested in capturing this field, you just press on the plus button, give it a name or leave the default name there, just rename it to invoice number. I'm interested, and once you have added as an as a field which you're interested in, it turns green. I'm also interested in the issue date. Just leave it as issue date, the name. One more thing I want to extract is the total amount, and I just rename it to total amount. A few documents have got different structure. You can add one or more documents to help the AI have a better training set. Just add them, press the process document, and it's going to correlate the field as well. In our case, because the documents are similar, it's going to extract the same similar fields, as you can see here, and then invoice number as well. We can also see the output fields of this model here. These are the fields we have specified. That's pretty much it. Let's save our AI model. Also, I'm going to publish it. Now that we've created a model, an AI model, let's go and create a flow. To create a flow, come here and click on create flow. Our flow is going to get started when an email arrives, lands on a Gmail inbox. So I select this one. First thing first, we give it a name. We call it invoice processing internet provider wider invoice processing to make it more specific. Now let's configure the trigger. We don't want to monitor this inbox. We want to monitor calls inbox. So I select that. Um, so as a good practice, we just want to make sure the email which arrives is an invoice email. So first thing, I put an if condition there. Say is is a valid invoice email, and I'm going to configure two conditions there. First condition, when you can configure how many conditions, and depending on your use case, may have a different condition or may have no condition. But for me, I'm gonna say we just want to make sure, first of all, it's got attachment. That means the attachment count um, is greater than 0. Also, I want to make sure it's got the word invoice in the subject, because that's the agreement we have had with our suppliers. Subject contains the word invoice. So, okay, if it's a valid invoice, it's gonna go to the true branch. If it's an invalid invoice email, it's gonna go to the false branch. And when it goes to the false branch, I just want to terminate. And maybe before that, I also log something to history for my future reference. Um, received received an email from, and I can go and select who the email was from, uh, but it was not a valid um, invoice email. You can do a lot more here. You can also, if you would like, you can notify someone if required. Otherwise, for our demo purpose, that's good enough. Now, if also the true branch follows the true branch and comes down here. Okay, next step is to go and actually extract information from the attachments. Now, because the email can have one or more attachments, it always comes as a collection. For that purpose, we use this method called for each to loop through each one of the attachments, and then we are going to perform the our AI capability there. So here, as you can see, it's marked in a collection and it's an array. I select that one here. Say go and loop through each attachment. Now let's add the actual AI magic to our flow. Let's drag and drop the one of the form processor action and configure it. So what we first need to do, we need to select the AI model we just created. There it is, the internet provider invoice model. We use that. We need to tell the action, go and run that model for this payload. And the payload comes from the current item in the loop. So we just need to select the payload, that's the content of the file, and um, let's rename it as well. So as a good practice, we give it a good name, exact information. And also, as you can see, the output of this action is going to be the fields we specified in our model. Okay, and when you've done that, next step for us is going to be to add it to the row, so to the sheet, add a new row to the sheet. So I'm going to drag and drop a paint row here. Let's go and configure it. So I've got a connection. Let's go and select the file. Basically, I'm going to select this file, receive invoices. Let's go back here. So it's in the AI builder. Receive invoices. The sheets is going to be the first sheet in the file sheet one. And my sheet has got headers. Go and load the headers. Okay. Now I'm going to dynamically populate this value for invoice number. What I do is that I said go as get the output of the extract information action and use the invoice number. Do the same for this one, and for this one use the invoice date, issue date, and as the last one, go and get the amount, total amount, and put it in there. Well, that's basically it. So as simple as that, it's gonna run and add the invoices to the sheet. Okay, let me save and publish. So published it. Um, I've got a few emails ready. I'm gonna email them to Carl. Carl's inbox is this one, and we're gonna monitor what's happening there. Let's email the first June one. So it's emailed. Let's see if it's landed in the Carl's inbox. Waiting for it to arrive. Yep, it's here now. what we should see here, if I go back to the recent runs, to the flows, if I look at the recent runs of this one, we should have one of them is being executed, and let's monitor. Oh, it's already added. So, so this is the invoice number 8076747. It's for June and $89. Let's go and confirm that from the email we just received. Yeah, 8076747 for June and $89. Okay. Now let me forward the other two emails as well. Let's come here and forward the July email and then forward the August email. And let's go back here and let's see if they arrive to the inbox. Yep, July arrived, and we should see it appear here. Let's give it a second or two. Here's the July one, and here's the August one. As you could see, we automated a very complex scenario by harnessing the power of AI with just a few drag and drops in a matter of minutes. Now, we kept the number of steps in our sample flow really small, but for your scenario, you may want to add approval. You may want to route the data to different system of records. You may want to send it to Salesforce or other systems, or even generate a new document based on the data we extracted with just a few drag and drops. Thank you very much, and please let us know your comments, feedback, and suggestions.